There is a kind of fear that doesn't just stop you from acting, it stops you from being yourself. You know this fear. You feel it when you write a post, then delete it. When you record a video, then never upload it. When you have an idea that lights up your whole body, and you quietly kill it because you imagine the comments. Who do you think you are? You're cringe. Don't embarrass yourself. You live as if there's an invisible crowd in your head, always watching, noticing every flaw, judging every move. You check messages and comments 10, 20, 50 times. You rehearse arguments that never happen. You replay small mistakes from years ago and feel the same sting of shame as if it's happening right now. And the worst part is not what other people actually say. It's what you say to yourself, in their voice. This doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're broken. Your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do in a hyper-social world. Protect you from being rejected by the tribe. But there is a cost. Because this fear doesn't just protect you from humiliation, it also blocks your expression, your work, your relationships, your life. In Japan, there is a name for this invisible barrier. It's called Haji no Kabe, the hidden law of the unseen judge. It is the wall of shame between who you truly are and who you allow the world to see. And in some Zen-inspired monastic traditions, they developed a system to walk through that wall. A path with 4 pillars. Ketsui, the public oath. Kage Men, the shadow mask. Seiza no Me, the still gaze. Michi Hitori, the lone path. When you understand these 4 pillars of Haji no Kabe, you'll see why fear of judgment dominates your life and how to dismantle that invisible wall step by step. Before we dive in, if you're already part of this channel, thank you for being here. If you're new, consider subscribing if you want more deep dives into discipline, psychology, and inner transformation. And tell me in the comments, what are you most afraid people will think about you? Really write it. 1 sentence. That's your first exposure. Back to the video. Chapter 1. The Invisible Audience, Mexico City. Night. Lucas is 29. From the outside, his life looks fine. He's a competent software developer, decent salary, good coffee shop near the office, friends to go out with on weekends. A small but comfortable apartment with a view of the city lights. On his desk, a mechanical keyboard, a ring light, a decent microphone. On his browser, an open YouTube upload page. The progress bar reads 99% processed. The thumbnail shows his face, a bit tense but determined. Title: The Real Reason You Can't Focus, A Developer's Perspective. His finger hovers over publish. His heart is pounding. In his mind, a flood of voices. Who do you think you are? A psychologist now? Your English isn't perfect. People will roast you. Your coworkers will see this. They'll laugh about it at lunch. What if no one watches it? Or worse, what if they do? His chest tightens. The room suddenly feels too small. He whispers to himself, "It's not ready. It's not good enough. I'll re-record it this weekend." He clicks Cancel Upload. The video disappears. Lucas leans back in his chair, staring at the empty screen. He opens Twitter, scrolls, opens YouTube, sees another creator explaining deep psychology concepts with confidence. He thinks, they're different. They're natural on camera. I just embarrass myself. This is not the first time. On his hard drive, there are dozens of unfinished videos, monologues on attention, on anxiety, on how software design is like designing your mind. Everyone gets stuck at the same place, the moment of being seen. At work, it's similar. Lucas writes a LinkedIn post, "Why most productivity hacks fail for developers," and what actually works. He rewrites it once, twice, 20 times. He changes fail to don't work, then to aren't sustainable. He deletes personal parts, removes opinions that might be too much. After 40 minutes, the draft is a lifeless paragraph. He sighs, clicks discard. At lunch, his co-workers joke, "So Lucas, how's that startup idea going?" "Yeah, man, when's the big YouTube launch?" One of them laughs and says, "You talk big, but you never ship anything." The table laughs. For them, it's just teasing. For Lucas, it lands like a punch to the gut. That night, something happens that truly breaks him. He's at home, scrolling YouTube, when he sees the face of a younger colleague. Diego, 24, junior developer. Diego has just launched a channel. The video is rough. Lighting is bad. Microphone is echoey. He stumbles over words. He mispronounces dopamine. And yet, there it is. 10,000 views. Comments like, "This helped a lot. Please make more videos. Subbed, bro. Love your honesty." Lucas stares at the screen. He knows in his bones that his ideas are at least as good. He understands psychology, reads research, journals intensively. But all of it is locked behind the wall of what if they judge me. He closes the laptop, walks to the kitchen, stands there, hands on the counter, heart heavy. A thought appears, simple and brutal. If I keep living like this, nothing will change. I will stay exactly the same. For years. He feels a strange mixture of panic and clarity. Later that week, in the hallway of his building, he bumps into someone he barely knows. His older Japanese neighbor, Mr. Sato. Lucas apologizes. They exchange a few words. For some reason, Lucas blurts out, "Do you know anything about stage fright?" Mr. Sato pauses, smiles slightly. "I spent 40 years directing actors who thought they were going to die every time the lights came on," he says. "So yes, I know a little." Lucas laughs nervously. "I'm not an actor. I just can't press publish." Mr. Sato tilts his head. "Then perhaps," he says, "you are not afraid of publishing. You are afraid of being seen." He looks at Lucas, eyes calm but piercing. "If you'd like," he adds, "come for tea tomorrow. We can talk about your invisible audience." Chapter 2. The Wall of Shame. Lucas sits on a cushion in Mr. Sato's apartment. The room is simple, bookshelves, a low table, a calligraphy scroll on the wall with 3 black characters he doesn't recognize. Steam rises from 2 cups of green tea. For a while, Mr. Sato says nothing. He just lets Lucas speak. Lucas tells him everything. The videos he records and deletes. The startup ideas he never starts. The way he rewrites posts until they die. How he imagines his friends, his parents, his co-workers watching and judging. He ends with a half laugh. "I know it sounds ridiculous. It's just the internet. No one cares. But it feels like I'm going to be executed if I post something real." Mr. Sato listens, hands folded. Then he asks the first sharp question. "Whose voice do you hear?" he says quietly. "When you imagine being judged?" Lucas frowns. "I don't know. Everyone's, I guess." "Everyone?" Mr. Sato raises an eyebrow. "Or someone specific," Lucas thinks. There's the tone of his father when he got bad grades. The laughter of classmates when he mispronounced a word in English. The smirk of an ex who called one of his ideas pathetic. He swallows. "It's a mix," he says. "But it feels like one voice, like a crowd speaking with one mouth." Mr. Sato nods. "When did you first learn," he asks, "that being seen is dangerous?" A memory surfaces. 9-year-old Lucas, reading a story he wrote in front of the class. He misreads a word. Someone laughs. The teacher rolls her eyes and says, "You should practice before reading in public." The class erupts in giggles. He remembers standing there, burning with shame, wishing he could disappear. Lucas tells the story. Mr. Sato listens, then points to the calligraphy on the wall. Haji no Kabe, he says. It means the wall of shame. He continues. In some Zen-inspired monastic traditions, they used this phrase to describe a very specific suffering, the invisible barrier between who you truly are and who you allow the world to see. We think we fear people, but what we really fear is our own shame mirrored back to us. Lucas looks at the characters on the wall. The wall of shame, he repeats. Mr. Sato leans forward slightly. In modern language, he says, we might call it internalized social judgment or a shame-based self-image. You do not fear YouTube comments. You fear the part of your mind that will use those comments as weapons against you. He taps his temple. You live on a stage inside your head, he says. You believe the audience is always there, always laughing, always ready to boo, so you never step into the light. Lucas feels exposed. It's like someone just described the thing he never had words for. Mr. Sato continues, shifting into something that sounds almost scientific. When the brain expects social rejection, it reacts as if there were physical danger. The amygdala lights up, like when you face a wild animal. Areas that process physical pain also activate when you feel excluded or humiliated. Your nervous system does not know the difference between "they will reject me" and "I will be hurt." So you avoid expression the way a child avoids fire. Lucas nods slowly. He's read similar things, but never felt them so personally. In the West, Mr. Sato says, you might call this social anxiety, shame sensitivity, overactive default mode network, the part of the brain that keeps imagining how others see you. In our tradition, we simply called it Haji no Kabe, the wall of shame, the hidden law of the unseen judge. Lucas asks, hidden law? Mr. Sato smiles slightly. Yes, the unspoken rule that governs your behavior. Do nothing that might make you look foolish. This law will protect you from humiliation, but it will also imprison you. He lets that sink in, then adds, the good news is, this wall is not made of stone. It is made of old thoughts and old emotions, repeated so many times they feel like reality. Lucas sighs. So how do I break it? He asks. Mr. Sato's eyes sharpen. You don't break it in one strike, he says. You walk through it, brick by brick. The monks used a system, 4 pillars to train the mind and body to live beyond the unseen judge. It is called the system of Haji no Kabe. He holds up 4 fingers. Pillar 1, Ketsui, the public oath. Pillar 2, Kage Men, the shadow mask. Pillar 3, Seiza no Mi, the still gaze. Pillar 4, Michi Hitori, the lone path. He looks at Lucas. If you want to learn, he says, you must be willing to be seen failing, not just once, many times. Lucas feels his throat tighten. I'm scared, he admits. Mr. Sato smiles, almost kindly. Of course, he says. If you were not afraid, there would be no wall. The question is not, how do I stop being afraid? The question is, what will I serve, my fear of judgment, or my path? Chapter 3. The training to be seen. The next week, Lucas begins. Pillar 1, Ketsui, the public oath. Mr. Sato gives him a simple assignment. You must make a vow, he says. Not in your head, in the open. Lucas resists. Can't I just promise myself quietly? No, Mr. Sato replies. Hidden promises serve the hidden judge. A public oath serves your path. So Lucas sits at his desk, opens his notes app, types, deletes, types again. Finally, he writes, "For the next 60 days, I will publish one imperfect piece of content every day. It can be a short video, a post, a thread. It must be honest. It must be public, no matter how I feel." His hands shake as he posts it to Instagram stories, Twitter, and a small WhatsApp group of close friends. Immediately, the panic rises. What if I fail? What if they mock me? He texts Mr. Sato. "I posted the oath. I feel like I want to throw up." Mr. Sato replies with a single sentence. "Good. That means the wall has heard you." Ketsui is not about perfection. It's about identity. By making a public oath, Lucas moves from "I'm someone who hides until it's perfect" to "I'm someone who shows up imperfectly on schedule." The oath is a line in the sand, not for others, for himself. Letter 2. Kage Men, the shadow mask, Saktatsin. Mr. Sato gives Lucas a notebook. "Write down," he says, "every mask you wear to be liked." For an hour, Lucas writes, the smart developer who always has a clever opinion, the chill friend who never gets too emotional, the agreeable coworker who doesn't challenge anyone, the humble guy who downplays his ambitions so no one thinks he's arrogant. Underneath each mask, he writes the fear. If I'm not smart, they'll see I'm nothing. If I'm intense, they'll think I'm weird. If I disagree, they'll isolate me. If I show ambition, they'll want me to fail. Mr. Sato reads the list and nods. "This is your Kage Men," he says. "Your shadow mask. It was built for survival, but now it suffocates you." The practice for Kage Men is simple and terrifying. Every day, Lucas must show one small, uncool, or imperfect part of himself on purpose. One day, he posts a short, shaky video filmed on his phone. No fancy editing. Just him speaking honestly about his difficulty focusing. No background music, no cuts, just truth. Another day, he posts a tweet admitting, "I've deleted more ideas than I've shipped because I'm scared of looking stupid. This is me trying to change that." He expects silence or ridicule. Instead, people respond, "Same. I feel this so much. Thanks for saying it out loud." Each time he exposes a bit of the real Lucas, the mask cracks. Just a little. Pillar 3. Seiza no Mi, the still gaze. Now comes the most uncomfortable training. When you post, Mr. Sato says, your true training begins after you click publish. The rule for Seiza no Mi, Lucas must post his content. Then, for a set period, 1 hour at first, then longer, he is not allowed to delete it, edit it, check likes, views, or comments. He must simply sit with himself, like a monk in meditation, but the object of meditation is his own fear of being judged. The first time he does it, it feels like torture. He uploads a 3-minute video. Why you're not lazy, you're overstimulated. He clicks publish. His stomach drops. Instantly, his hand reaches for his phone to check the video again. He forces himself to put it face down. He sits on the couch, breathing shallow. Thoughts swirl. They're going to hate it. Someone from work will see. I look weird on camera. No one will care. Everyone will care. His heart races. His palms sweat. Every few seconds, his body screams, check, 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 delete. He does nothing. He watches the urge rise, peak, and fall, like waves. This is Seiza no Mi, the still gaze. Not running, not reacting, not negotiating with imaginary critics, just feeling the full intensity of fear and shame in the body, and staying. On a neuroscience level, something important is happening. Each time Lucas sits with the discomfort without obeying it, the survival circuits in his brain learn a new lesson. I can feel this, and nothing catastrophic happens. Over time, the amygdala calms down faster. The default mode network, the part that spins stories about what others think, starts losing its absolute power. In Zen, they would say, he is learning to sit in front of the demon without bowing. Pillar 4. Michi Hitori. The Lone Path. Finally, Mr. Sato introduces the last pillar. You need a compass, he says, something deeper than applause, deeper than approval. He asks Lucas to choose 3 values that will define his path. After thinking for a long time, Lucas writes, Truth. Say what is real, not what is safe. Courage. Act in the presence of fear, not in its absence. Generosity. Create to give something to others, not to polish his image. Michi Hitori means the lone path. The path you walk even when no one cheers, no one claps, no one understands. Each day, Lucas asks himself, did I act according to truth, courage, generosity today? Even if no one liked or commented? Some days, his videos get almost no views. He feels the pull to quit. But then he remembers, my job is not to be admired. My job is to walk my path. He sets a fixed schedule. 1 piece of content, every day at 8 p.m. No negotiations. Even a 30-second clip counts. He pre-decides his reaction if he gets hate. If I receive criticism, he writes, I will ask, is there something true here I can learn from? Or is this just someone else's shadow? In both cases, I will leave the video up. For a while, the river flows, small uploads, honest words, tiny steps beyond the unseen judge. But growth is never a straight line. Chapter 4. The Relapse Day. 37. Lucas uploads one of his most vulnerable videos yet. He talks about the moment in school when everyone laughed as he read aloud. About how that shame followed him into adulthood. About deleting videos and living behind Haji no Kabe. He's shaking when he posts it. For the first few hours, comments are kind. I went through something similar. Wow, this hits hard. Thank you for sharing this. Then, a notification. A new comment appears from someone he respects. An old university acquaintance he always saw as smarter, cooler, more successful. The comment reads, Dude, you're being overdramatic. Everyone has embarrassing memories. This self-help content is cringe. Just stick to coding. Lucas feels his chest collapse. Instantly, the old neural pathways light up. You see? You are cringe. He thinks you're pathetic. Everyone from university will see this. Delete it! Delete the whole channel! This was a mistake. He goes into a spiral. That night, he doesn't post. The next night, he tells himself he's too tired. He avoids YouTube, avoids messages, avoids his oath. Shame returns with double force. You see? You can't even keep a 60-day promise. You're not built for this. After 2 days, he knocks on Mr. Sato's door, eyes dull. I failed, he says. You were right. I'm not meant to be seen. Mr. Sato pours tea, waits. Lucas tells him about the comment, the spiral, the missed days, the familiar feeling of wanting to disappear. When he finishes, Mr. Sato says something unexpected. Good, he says. Lucas stares at him. Good? Yes, Mr. Sato says calmly. You didn't just hit the wall. You finally saw it. He continues. You thought the training was about learning to publish without ever feeling shame again. That is not the path. The wall of Haji no Kabe is made of exactly what you are feeling now. The belief, if someone disapproves, I should disappear. He leans forward. Relapse is not the end of the path, he says. Relapse is the path. The question is not, did I fall? The question is, what do I do after I fall? Lucas shakes his head. I just feel like a fraud, he says. How can I talk about fear of judgment if I'm still drowning in it? Mr. Sato smiles faintly. Do you think the monks who trained with Haji no Kabe never felt shame? They felt it fully. The difference is that they acted while feeling it. He points towards an imaginary river. Imagine your expression, your work, like a river, he says. Sometimes it's a torrent. Sometimes it's a small trickle. The only real danger is to let it turn into a dead, stagnant pond. You think you must wait until the water is clear and calm to let it flow again. But the training is to let it flow when it is muddy, when it is wild, when it is full of debris. He looks at Lucas with the still gaze of someone who has watched many people break and rebuild. Post again, he says. Not when you feel better, not when you feel ready. Post while you still feel ashamed. Lucas swallows. Right now? He asks. Right now, says Mr. Sato. Otherwise, you are bowing to the unseen judge, and every time you bow, the wall grows higher. That night, hands trembling, heart pounding, Lucas records a 2-minute video. No script, no edits. Just him saying, I posted something vulnerable. Someone I respect called it cringe. I wanted to delete everything. I skipped 2 days. I feel ashamed and stupid right now. And I'm posting this. Anyway, he clicks publish. Then he puts his phone down, sits on the edge of his bed, and breathes. Seiza no mi, the still gaze. The urge to delete rises like a wave. He lets it crash. He does not move. The river flows again. Chapter 5. The Transformation 1 year later. Lucas still feels fear before some uploads. The unseen judge did not simply vanish, but something fundamental has changed. He no longer says, I am a coward. He says, I am feeling fear, and I'm posting anyway. His YouTube channel has grown, not explosively, but steadily. A community of people who care more about honesty than polish. He receives messages like, I thought I was the only one who deleted content out of fear. Your video about shame made me start my own channel. I showed your video to my brother. It helped him. One particular message becomes his turning point. It's from his younger sister who lives in another city. She writes, I watched your video about being laughed at in school. I had a similar experience in high school and never told anyone. Seeing you talk about it made me feel less alone. I'm proud of you. Lucas reads it twice, 3 times. He realizes something quietly devastating. His silence was not neutral. By hiding, he wasn't just protecting himself from imagined ridicule. He was also withholding something that could help others. The wall of shame had not only been his prison. It had also been a dam, stopping the river that might feed other people's deserts. He records a new video. This time, he doesn't script it. He doesn't edit out the pauses. He doesn't try to look smart. He looks straight into the camera and says, This video is for anyone who's terrified of being judged. For years, I lived behind something called Haji no Kabe, the wall of shame. I deleted videos at the upload screen. I rewrote posts 20 times and never published. I thought I was protecting myself, but I was actually abandoning myself. I'm still afraid. But now I am more loyal to my path than to the imaginary crowd in my head. He talks about Ketsui, Kage Men, Seiza no me, Michi Hitori, about Mr. Sato's questions, about the relapse, about posting while ashamed. He uploads it, doesn't check for 2 hours. When he finally looks, the comments are full of variations of, I needed this. I've been hiding behind my own wall. You're so honest. I wish I had your courage. He smiles, not with ego, but with relief. At work, he's changed too. He speaks up in meetings, even when his ideas might be controversial. Sometimes his suggestions are rejected. He feels the sting and recovers. In relationships, he sets boundaries. He says no when something violates his values of truth, courage, generosity. Some people call him too intense, too honest, not normal. He takes it as a sign he's no longer pleasing the unseen judge. On a brain level, the pathways of fear are still there, but so are new pathways of courage. Each repetition of the 4 pillars has wired a new pattern. Feel fear. Remember the oath. Expose a bit of the mask. Sit with the discomfort. Act according to values, not the crowd. One evening, sitting with Mr. Sato, Lucas asks, "Will this fear ever completely disappear?" Mr. Sato chuckles. "Probably not," he says. "But that is not necessary. The point is not to become a stone. The point is to become a person who can feel deeply and still walk their path." He nods to the calligraphy on the wall. "Haji no Kabe may whisper for the rest of your life," he says. "But now you know. The wall speaks with your own voice. You can listen and keep walking." The 4 pillars of Haji no Kabe, for you. Let's bring this back to you. Maybe you're like Lucas at the beginning, full of ideas, podcasts you want to start, videos you want to make, art, business, books, conversations you want to have. But you live behind Haji no Kabe, the wall of shame and the hidden law of the unseen judge. You are not failing because you're untalented. You might be failing because you're more loyal to imaginary critics than to your own path. So here are the 4 pillars again, in simple terms. Pillar 1, Ketsui, the public oath turn. I'll try into I am. Make at least one public declaration about how you will show up. It can be, for the next 60 days, I will publish one imperfect piece of content every day. Or, every Sunday, I will share one honest post about what I'm learning. Post it where someone can see it. Friends, social media, a community. Not to impress them. To commit yourself. Pillar 2. Kage Men. Exposing the mask. Identify the personas you use to avoid shame. The always funny one. The always agreeable one. The always competent one. The always chill one. Write them down. Under each, write the fear. If I'm not X, they'll think Y. Then gently, intentionally, show a little more of who you actually are. Share something unpolished. Admit a fear. Post something that's more real than cool. Every time you do, the mask cracks. Pillar 3. Seiza no me, the still gaze. Pick a small practice, post something. For a set time, start with 30-60 minutes. You do not edit, delete, check metrics. Feel the urge to check. Feel the urge to run. Watch the mind say, "This was a mistake." Don't fight the feelings. Just don't obey them. This trains your nervous system to understand. I can feel shame and still exist. I can be seen and survive. Pillar 4. Michi Hitori. The lone path choose. 3 values that define your path. Maybe truth, courage, generosity. Maybe creativity, integrity, service. Every day ask, did I act according to these values today? Even if no one approved, no one clapped, no one understood? This is what it means to walk the lone path. Approval becomes a bonus, not your oxygen. Your assignment now, your turn. Don't just nod and think, "That's interesting." Choose one small thing to publish. A 30-second video, a simple post, a drawing, a paragraph of your story, a song snippet, a thread about what you understand. Make a public oath about how often you'll show up, daily or weekly, for at least 60-90 days. Pick a fixed time. Decide now how you'll respond to silence. If no one responds, I still showed up. That's a win. Criticism. I will look for the 10% that might be true and discard the rest. And remember, The goal is not to stop being afraid. The goal is to become someone who acts in alignment with their values while being afraid. That is how Haji no Kabe, the wall of shame, begins to crumble. So I'll ask you once more, and I want you to answer in the comments. What are you most afraid people will think about you? Write it. Let it be seen. That's your first step through the wall. If this story of Lucas and Haji no Kabe resonated with you, consider subscribing, activating the bell, and watching my other videos about fear, shame, and authenticity. And wherever you are, as you close this video, remember, be present, walk with honor, follow the path,